Okay, so women, I understand that, you all have some type of, you all feel some type of way about men, right? And you all feel like because men haven't stepped up to the plate that you all have to. But I want you all to realize that there are many men out here that are good, that are great. So 80% of guys are out here and they making it happen. They may be your trash men, working for water and sewer. They may be a public servant. They may be guys out here just being the electrician. They may be the plumbers. They're the ones that actually keep the world turning. But these guys are the guys that come home, do what they're supposed to do. They pay the bills, right? They pay the bills. Sometimes they help out around the house, which is cooking and cleaning, right? They also pick up their kids from school, drop them off. And I don't see how that's not beneficial, or why you all think that's nothing on the table, or even a man that, and then even him being a support system to you, right? Him being, okay, babe, go ahead and go to school. Okay, go ahead and take a break. Go ahead and go on vacation. You get what I'm saying? And they may not do it all the time, because you may look on IG and see certain guys do these unforeseen things. You get what I'm saying? But that's not saying that that's not good, but that doesn't happen. That's not a everyday thing. That's not reality. You get what I'm saying? And that's how I feel about that. So you have to really appreciate what comes your way and what's in front of you. Because we always like to look across the street, and we like to look on the other side of the fence and think that's better than what you have. I bet 80% of you all women had a good guy, right? And then you overlooked him for something that was like that 80-20 rule, right? You overlooked him for something that was 20, and you still miserable, right? So you have to understand that. You get what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying as far as the man being the table. Man, you have to realize who you are. You have to put in your mind and know that I don't have to prove nothing to nobody, right? Other than doing what I'm supposed to do for myself. Because sometimes I look on IG and I'm like, dang, I ain't doing enough. But then I have to realize I don't have to give her a Birkin. Long as I put a roof over her head, I'm good enough. If her car breaks down, I'm fixing it. That's good enough. If I even go outside and wash her car, clean inside of her car, build her up when she's torn down, that's good enough. That's better than the Birkin. Because the Birkin may even burn up. It may not even make it here on time, right? But that's materialistic. And if that's what you deem important more than substance, security, then that tells me that you in your mind as a woman are dumbfounded. Like Lil Wayne saying, why give you her heart? Why give you your heart when she wants a purse? Why should I even give you my energy? And this is why most women get treated the way they do. Because you're rather something materialistic than something that has substance, that's long lasting. Like most of my relationships, I try to make sure they leave with something. But they never come back and say thank you unless something tragic happens. They don't appreciate you while you right here. Of course, why like a prophet is not worthy at his own pond. And it doesn't make sense to me. So I need people out here, for I call you all guys aces, and I call the women jewels. Live up to your standard. Live up to that which is brought to you. right? So if you have a good man, and the reason for saying that, if you have a good man and he's good and he's qualified, you don't need women feel like women feel like you have to meet their qualifications. What about you meeting his qualifications? Because 9 times out of 10, you're bringing something. Baggage, right? So, and I'm trying to stay on the men, then I'm gonna go to the women. So men, realize who you are as a man and step up to the plate. And sometimes, like me, far as right now, have to stand in the paint in absence of someone, absence of T. You get what I'm saying? Because of situations. So sometimes I have to be the man and just step up and make it happen, regardless of the circumstances. Right? So I want to now move on to the women and feel like there's a double standard. And the reason why I feel like you all are not the table, because looking good, smelling good, and having your hair and nails and your little eyelashes, your little wings on your eyes, and your body done, that doesn't qualify being anything but selfish, self-centered, and self-absorbed. 60% of women, they're the ones with the baggage. There's the ones with their hands out all the time. Right? So I'm looking at my notes to make sure I kind of hit you, because I've been thinking about this thing. They're the ones that need family and friend dependency in order to function. Right? They can't do things on their own, but they always call out a man because he can't. Oh, you not a man. But you the one that can't even function on your own. You still live with your peoples. And then say it's no good men out here that have their own, that's independent. Then judge a man because he rooms with his friends or he has to move back home for whatever reason. But then forget how qualified are you even to the men that you're dating. Okay, and I'm not talking about all women. I'm just talking about these 60% of women that I have socially observed, right? So they bring forth the problems, the drama. They're very aggressive, right? They need approval even from their friends. They need approval from their families, right? So these women, that they need a cosigner as well. Now, then you have, of course, the 35% of women that do bring something, and it's 50% milder than the actually 60% of women. Right? So these women, I call them the historians, right? So they got so much baggage, so much history, right? So the reason why they got to the point they got to because of all the adversities that happened in their lives, right? They always have problems, always talking about what happened to them, never getting over their situation. And the thing is, like, even with men kind of go through a lot, but they don't say nothing. They kind of move on, just showing a sign of maturity, right? They don't dwell in the past. Men kind of are overcomers, right? So these women, of course, I call them the historians, that lives in the 35% bracket, right? They're educated. They have money. And the thing with that is, because they have money and they're educated, they feel like they're equal to a man. Because they feel like, oh, now I stepped in a man's position, that a man should treat me with respect. And that's idiotic. And I think that's poison. You shouldn't feel that way. Because you're educated and you have money, that means you're better suited to help a man, because you are made to be a helpmate. That's it. You only provide to a man, and what you bring to the table is only two things. That's pleasure, right? And a child. That's it. Other than that, you bring drama, confusion. That's it. And that's how I feel. Now, also too, with the 35 percenters, and I don't even care how you feel, because I can break it down even more, right? But I'm not. Because I want you all to leave some comments. I want you to like it. I want you to subscribe to the channel. Right? So, and to add with the 35 percenters, I put commitment dependent. And the reason for putting commitment dependent is actually because women will commit to you dependent on what position you can put them in. Can you make them look good in front of their family or their friends? Because women just wants to impress everybody else. That's why they put on the makeup. They put on the tight dress. Right? They always want to look good for someone else. I don't believe that women try to look good for their man. Because if they did, they would listen to the man, and the man would tell you what to wear and what not to wear. But I think women try to impress other women. There's attention seekers. I call them pretty problems. Right? So it depends on the condition. They're only going to be committed to you depending on the condition. And I'm not going to say something is wrong with being with somebody that you can be comfortable, like live a comfortable life, but also be someone that you can be a helpmate to, because that's why you were created. And I think that that's something that should be stressed out, especially when you are meeting these women. Are you going to be able to be my peace? Are you going to be able to help support me? Because when a woman is ahead and you support them, what it leads to? Because women don't leave back, to me, legacy. They leave back problems. Personal opinion. So I'm going to move on to the 5% of women. These are the wifey material. These are the loving, the kind, the pleasant, easygoing. And even out of the 5, you have the 2%, which are the salt of the earth. These are the wailing women. These are the women that pray fast and God has put aside. But, I just feel as though these things needs to be kind of stretched or spoke about. That, women basically, they bring a lot of baggage. They want men to come in their life and actually help them out of their situation that they got themselves into. You want a guy to come in and save you. Then once you save, you use what he gave you, and then you go try to bless somebody else with it. That's why I feel like a lot of women put curses on themselves. You will never understand why you are dealing with what you're dealing with, because you did it to yourself. You're the problem child. You're the problem. That's why you should seek help. So the baggage, and then what you bring to the table. Let me talk about that real quick. What you bring to the table is pain and agony, right? Your debt, right? Your kids, the baby daddy, right? You bring all of that problem to the table. So you know how a girl come in, sit down on a date, and she bring her big bag. Well, what's filled in that bag is actually nothing but problems. She's not going to pull out her problems. Like, she's not going to pull out her wallet for her to pay. But what's filled in the bag is problems that you have to find a solution for, being on the opposite side. It's crazy. Right? So then you have to deal with her traumas, her being abused when she was young, right? Or even her being molested, something that you had nothing to do with. You know, and I'm not trying to pick on women, but the guy that you're dating had nothing to do with you being molested. That should be an issue that you really took care of. Right? That should be something, or being abused. And it may not even be so much physically abused, but just mentally abused, verbally abused, right? That has nothing to do with the new guy or even the good guy. And I like this. God says that vengeance is his. So even though you don't have to do nothing, right? You don't have to go out, and when guys realize like, oh, girl, this girl really trying me, you don't have to do nothing. God got her. And I think about this too. I think it was Solomon. God told Solomon, do not follow after the foreign women. Right? And the reason why, because they would deter your heart away from him. And I think that these women are foreign women nowadays. These are not godly women. They want to get married under a godly pretense, right? Godly order, but they're not godly. They're poison. They will deter your heart into evil. That's why some guys are in jail even now. Because the women are straight up evil. They will literally be with you, right? And go sleep under your enemy and tell him all your secrets. And then the enemy and you end up, beefing, killing each other, or one get killed and then the other one go to prison. And then she's on the next guy, giving him the three-hole pleasure. A problem that I think people need to realize. And I spark up these conversations so that it can be had. I love the fact that I have the freedom to actually speak my mind. And I just love to expound on certain things. And what goes through my mind even is deeper. This is like my first time actually doing it by myself. And I'll be probably more organized later if I ever get a chance to do it again. And I'm not going to even say in my closing, but just to leave a point right here, you know, so I can continue the sentence or the paragraph later. You know, men, you are the table, and realize your value as a man. Realize who you are from head to toe and everything that surrounds you. A lot of guys have made the game too flaky, fickle, right? Because of the type of games that they do play. But understand who you are. And if you don't value yourself, and I'm realizing this, if you don't value yourself as a man, no one else will. You have to step up to the plate and make it happen for yourself. And then, of course, these women will flock along. And women, understand what you play or bring to the table and play your part accordingly. If you know you don't bring nothing, right? Understand your position. Or if you bring baggage, understand your position. Because I think about it like this as well. Like, you come to the table with a hidden agenda. Because you think a guy is a good guy and you can get over on him because you finesse him with the 3 holes of pleasure, right? But that gets nowhere other than him wanting to kill your butt right? Or you just get what you need to get at that point in time, and then you try to move on, but you will never find a life of completion. That's why a lot of women, to me, are out here searching for something that they would never find because they did wrong to what was in the past. And then women have like this unforgiveness within their hearts. They're so bitter, but they're bitter because of themselves, not no one else. So if I'm at the table and I'm sitting across from a girl, I already know what I have to do as a man. I'm going to build up. I'm going to do what I have to do as a man. But then I have learned, well, that used to be me. Now, I'm not so much in the building up. If you don't have it, then why are we talking? Now, I ain't going to say I'm not going to encourage you or push you, but I'm not finna make you. If you don't know how to get up in the morning and make it happen, oh well, I won't be with you for too long. Yeah. Another thing too, I know I was talking about the 35% of women. Some of these 35% of women are not domesticated. They don't even know how to do, the basic things even around the house. Because they had to go to school or they pursued school, right? And they pursue money, so they don't even know how to boil water. And men, you will have to step up when you meet those type of women and do that part. So you will have to provide, bring home the money, come home from work, cook and clean. Because she's unable to do that. So she'll go out and buy food instead of actually learning how to cook. She don't even want to be able to be pushed in her place and say, well, I work, so let me just still come home and cook. And I guess, too, what I have seen when I was growing up actually has a part to play in it, because I had a mom that will wake up like 3:00 in the morning that will pray. And then get my dad up, got him dressed, ironed his clothes, see him off to work, take a little nap, then get back up, get all the kids up, make sure they were straight. And that was 4 of us. And she would go to work, come back home, cook, and then get some rest. And she did it until my sister turned 18, I want to say. And then even on the weekends, like Sunday, she would cook. We would go to church. She would cook, come back home, prepare the meal, finish the meal. She would cook breakfast and dinner. Wash, clean, and cook. And she did that without a problem, without a mumble or a complaint. And nowadays, these women are not even built like that. And then they wonder why they're not married at a higher rate than back then. And I believe men nowadays are looking for wives, but there are no suitable ones. There's just none. Because women live with this mentality, me, myself, and I, and what you can do for me and mines. And I'm going to throw this in there too, because I thought about it and I think I got it from a brief synopsis of it from a podcast. And women live so freely now because of the birth controls that's out. They live with this mentality they can do like have a hot girl summer. They can do whatever they want to do with their bodies and not be accountable for it because they have birth control. You can have an accident and get rid of it. And with that type of freedom comes this type of catastrophe. This pollution that's in the world now. Because of, let's say, condoms, men are a little bit more wilder, but still kind of controlled because it's not happening like that with men. But women, they can go and sleep with 30 guys, 50 guys in a day. And don't have to worry really about no consequence as long as you use a condom and she takes birth control. So the mind of a woman is very tainted with no reality, no consequence. And that's so odd to me. And I feel like for that, that's the reason why you all are in the condition that you all are in. You have suitable men, trust me, they out here, but there's no suitable women. And I really believe that. Because men have to worry about too much. Because even if you take care of your wife, let's say, and she doesn't work, you got to worry about her cheating with the lawn man or the cable guy because she's not getting enough attention. Instead of being content and understanding who she has really as a man. That's why most like divorces after they like marriages that divorce, marriage that splits apart, the man usually finds someone else, but the women can't. Usually. The women just die alone. And if you know what I do, women are dying alone. And it's so sad. But it's out here. So, to bring it all full for all to conclude, let me just say it like that. To conclude, I really think that women need to understand you are not the table. Men, you are the table. You are the table. And know that. Regardless how these females are, you are the table. So I conclude with that. And again, this your boy DP. I'm with Geminis Gemz. T not here. Next time, right, T? All right, so this your boy DP. This Geminis with a S. Gems with a Z. And what we do, we drop them gems.